there's anyone watching, I guess I will record this for myself. Today's plan is to basically open source the Deadlock Builder so I don't have to maintain this shit. Let's see. First gotta do npm install. Oh shit. Whoops. There we go. Updated. First I will do npm install. Make sure the project I'm uploading actually works. It's taking so long. Until this is installed, everything is just gonna be red. Okay. Looks good. npm run dev. So now we go here, local, .0.1/3000. Oops, not 3000, not slash. Ta-da! There's the site. So everything works like I remember it to. Looks about right. Highlighting works. Budgeting. Yeah, okay. Looks like everything's working. So the plan is to publish the source to everybody. So once, I guess, what to do now? I think the first thing I want to do is actually I think I will first update the game files. I'm sure it has been patched in the 2 weeks that I haven't touched this. So let's see. So we'll move over to source 2 viewer. Oh shit. Source 2 viewer. Ta-da! Okay, so that's what source 2 viewer looks like. in here are all the source files. Oh, what do you call them? I don't know what they're called. Either way, we're interested in the game's v data, which should be in under deadlock. One of these. Dev? Nope. 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 Panorama, script, no. It's one of these. Abilities. That's one of the ones we want. Decompile and export. Abilities.vdata. We'll put it in, I guess, right here in the, right there, I guess. That's exported. And then we want the character. There's two main ones that the site will use. It's the abilities vdata and the hero vdata. We want the hero vdata too. We right click, decompile and export. And we're done. That's all the game data we need. So then we go back to the code. Let's see. So here's where I put it. I put it in the data processing, abilities vdata. Yeah. So we made some scripts to process this. Processing scripts. Alright. Delete these two abilities. And these are the new ones. Copy. Paste. There we go. And then using data processing the Py, this Python script will run the subsequent scripts. And hopefully will give us our files. So now in the vdata we have new files. Heroes, hero ability stats, filtered item, abilities.json. The ones we're interested in are these three. Take the heroes.json, go to the app, data, characters v2, forget characters. We replace this hero JSON, delete, paste. Okay. And then, let's do cut and paste. Okay, hero ability stats, cut, goes into abilities, delete the old one, save that. Filtered item, I think is the last one. Items, yeah. Delete this, filtered items. And that's all good. Now what? Just make sure. Pretty sure we don't use ability vdata anymore. Just ability vdata is interesting in that it contains ability data and item data. It's too large. It's actually split into items and abilities, which is why we're not touching. Oh, what did I do? Which is why we're not touching this. So I guess this one can get tossed in the void. Bye bye. So assuming my game was up to date, I should check. Assuming my game was up to date, these new files should have been updated too. I will check, actually. Open up Steam. Steam is taking so long. So what's interesting here is, surprisingly, yep, Deadlock is not up to date, but whatever. I just recorded the process to updating the data. So any future developers want to update the items and heroes and all that shit, you just need to make sure your game is up to date, or else you'll have old data. One of the things the community members pointed out is that some people got confused about how the leveling works. So over here we actually have generic data type, Citadel heroes, whatever the shit, hero base, useless. Let's go to Inferno. I have hero Inferno, class Citadel hero. Okay. As you can see, you got, what is this actually? No, I forgot what that is. Not that important. But over here, this is leveling info. This is how it scales. This is the ability points you get per level. At level 1, you have 0 gold or souls. Some people got confused about the budget system on the site. Your hero's level is correlated to how many souls you have. So at level 1, you have 0 souls, or at 0 souls you are level 1. But then you only have 1 ability unlock. And then at level 2, at 400 souls, you become level 2. And you get these. You get ability unlocks and ability points. And then every couple levels you have use standard upgrade, which is true. It buffs your base stats like health and damage, but it's every few levels, and it's not a consistent pattern, so it's defined in this data. And I think before, this has been changed here and there. Before, the max level was level 33. I believe now it's 37. And on the site, when you max out the slider, you have 47,000 souls or gold, and that is not random. That is because that is just the highest level requirement. Realistically, I thought in the site that you can give yourself unlimited budget. I think realistically, if you want the most expensive items and max out, you need about 100,000 souls, which is about double. So on the site, you can give yourself double the, or just add a 0 to the budget, and you can experiment all you'd like. But realistically, it's not really useful, because in a match, how often are you hitting 100,000 souls? Trying to optimize for a build with that high of a soul amount doesn't make sense. So if any of you wonder why on the site the souls is capped at 47,000 on slider, that's why. Let's see. I guess. Yeah, this is, I think, the print statement from the Python script that parses the v data into our JSON files. So I guess we can go into where did I put the scripts? Where did I put the scripts? I don't know. Oh, yeah. This calls ability v data. ability v data. Yeah, it prints. That's why there's so much stuff down here. So I guess a quick walkthrough of the site after we have the updated files. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Is it this one? That's the one. Okay, so the site may look a little bit odd. For this version of the site that I'm deciding to update, I removed the code that enables Google Ad. The component code I think I'll just keep in there, but it doesn't make sense to put my personal Google Ad ID on there. So these are the heroes. Originally these rendered as their development names. For example, Abrams in development is called Atlas, and we actually have a file that manually maps the names to their proper in-game name. So I think over on Reddit someone pointed out that Lady Geist was called Lade Geist or something, and that's because there was an issue over here with the hero's name map. This is not ideal, but this is really the only way. You have to, since the official in-game names aren't really in the files, this is like the best way or simplest way. We just have a JSON file that maps the key of the hero JSON to their actual in-game name. So some people, it's like I guess like Wraith, for example, its developed name is Wraith, and the hero's name is Wraith, which is not an issue. But then we have Atlas, who is Abram, Geist, who is Ghost. So there's a lot of these. The painful part is obviously as new heroes release, you have to manually update this. Whatever hero slork is gonna be, right now it's placeholder. And the annoying thing is that this is the same with items, and that's a lot more painful because items there are a lot more of. Specifically right now, as I know of, 117 probably should be the right number. Yeah, 117. And abilities, I think, ability is so painful, but also ability maps. All of these have to be mapped too. So fun. There's also this amazing file that I might get to explaining, but it's very long. I don't know. But here's a quick look. Maybe you guys can just figure it out. So back to the site. This site really has gone through a lot of iterations. Like I said, I cleaned up the ads for this demo, and the ads won't be available on the open source repository that I'm going to set up later. So this is what I talked about. The slider cap's at 37, budget at 47,000. You can just add a 0 and it's all good. The general things work. The stats, as far as I can tell, are accurate. The calculations are correct. One big issue though is components. For example, I think I don't remember the components, which is the problem, but I think long range and sharpshooter, these two I think are components of each other. So you shouldn't be able to have both, yet you are. That's a slight issue, but if you play the game a lot, it's not too big of a deal. And active, one thing that really should get worked on is active items. They don't really have a toggle to simulate them on or off, which is kind of annoying because they're mostly conditionally activated, not just on a button. So that would be helpful. The stats I'm sure are pretty sure are correct. We've gone through a lot of testing. Unless the dev team has changed a lot of these calculations in the past 2 weeks, the stats should not be a huge problem. We chose to round them to one more digit than the game does. The game, I think, pretty much just rounds to the nearest whole number, which is maybe not as accurate as some people like, so we chose to have three decimal points in general. Some things we accidentally rounded in development, like the melee damage is rounded to a whole, but it's not actually that even. That might throw some of you off. These abilities, as you can see, the upgrades work. Amazing stuff. Nice UI, these stats. Now, I think what would really put this to the next level is if you could build out your opponent build, and maybe calculate how much damage you would do to another character with their items and your items, because that is something that is actually very complex to do by yourself in your own head. So maybe in future development, that would probably be pretty good. I just realized my model, mouth no move. Why mouth no move? Holy shit. God damn. Okay, I saw that. Anyways, no one else did though, which is good. So oh, by the way, this model is from VTuber Kit, made by someone called Cupin. Honestly, makes everything a lot easier. I wish he would open source that too, honestly. But whatever. What else? What other stuff? I had this builder thing going. You can like drag items in, put it in the builder, save it, give it a name, and load it and share with people. But this is too half-baked right now. Honestly, I wouldn't even consider it a feature. But having this up and running would be really nice. Oh shit. Why does it do that? I don't know. That should not happen. Filtered item.json. Did I break something? Shit. Filter item.json. Oh, I pasted in the wrong folder. Fantastic. How is any item being loaded? Oh, well. I guess I fix it. Or not? What the hell is happening? Abilities. What is happening? Now that I'm trying to showcase this in a recording, it doesn't. It's like bugging out. By the way, this thing, you can get rid of it by if you reload. It's like fixed in the DOM and I cannot be bothered to figure that out. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, now that I think of it, it's like this project was really not all that all that big in scope. It really had to be manageable so I can do it myself. And I'm proud of where it's gotten to, but I don't think it's that useful right now. And hopefully if I open sources for more people to work on, it'll be better. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's all it is. Really, if you look at the front end, you might not even notice that it's that much work. But the back end, holy shit. Do I even want to talk about it? The back end. First you load into the page. The page loads the grid. The main thing it loads is the grid. It passes hero name, the image, into the page from the server. This is server rendered. And then from there, when you click on the hero in a grid, it sends you to this, a builder page with the name of the hero. So then we go to builder, go to page. You get the characters from the server, you get the items from the server, you get the abilities from the server, the initial stats, and the character's name from the server. Because remember, it's called Atlas, not Abrams. And then basically this entire page is character builder. Okay, my cursor is bugging out. This is annoying. Hello. What's up? Give me a second. I am relaunching VS Code. Oh, there we go. I was in the middle. Well, no, I don't think anyone was watching. So I was just recording myself documenting certain functions and the code. I was just going through the flow of the site, I guess. How you get through from the home to the calculations. What's up, Ice Lord? How's your day? Oh, good. Are you here to look at deadlock stats? I don't know what you call this. My personal project. I don't know if you know about it. I will show you. Let's see. That's what it looks like. So I think I'm streaming and just chatting, so maybe. Oh shit. Well, it's not exactly a coding stream. This is all written about a month ago as a personal project, so it's all, well, done is really a bit much to call this, but I'm just showcasing it and recording it for documentation purposes, and I was planning on making it open source sometime today so other people can contribute to it. What's happening? Oh shit, I crashed my server. I crashed my server. Give me a sec. There we go. Yeah. So that's what the site looks like. You select your hero. I don't know if you've heard of the game Deadlock. It's a new game by Valve. These are the characters, and I made like a calculator for it. So you click on a character. Oh, thank God, this one's not broken. Some of them are missing icons. I'm not sure why, and not entirely interested in finding the icons right now. You can set a budget, set your items. If you play League of Legends, you'll be familiar. And it shows you all your stats. This is truly a lot of work and painful. But yeah. And I was just going through how to get to loading all this. So I guess we'll go back to the code. Oh, and if you are interested in taking a look by yourself, you can go to deadlockbuilder.pro. Let me see. I will put the text on the stream. Sheesh. It is huge. Let's see. Ta-da. That is so ugly. Maybe, you know what that looks like? One of those bandy cam, unlicensed bandy cam. That's what that looks like. Let me change the color a little bit. Boom. Oh, that didn't change the color. What did I do? There we go. Yeah. So if you want to try this out yourself, you can do that. Oh, you're at school? You going to school? Make Google proxies. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're looking for. If you're trying to play games on the school computers, my best bet is just I don't know. Bust out your phone, I guess. The school computers are usually not great for gaming anyway, so it's not your day. No solution for you, I'm afraid. But you know, I think when I was in high school, we just, like, we used like some sort of remote desktop, just remote into your own computer from school. Then usually those are not blocked, and you can just have your own computer up. What I would used to use was what's it called, Moonlight, or maybe GeForce Game Stream, or I don't know. Those are like really the only ones that are fast enough. Trying to get around the school's blocking though is really well, I wouldn't really try to do that. The school would probably see, if someone sees you, you'd probably get in trouble, so not the best idea. Oh nah, those, you could try to make one yourself. I think if you're really desperate, I'm sure you can like make a Google site. Oh, there's a cool thing called 3.js. 3.js. And people make really insane cool shit on here. It's a JavaScript library, if you know what that is, that uses the computer's like graphics, and maybe you'll be interested in exploring that. Oh, this goes to YouTube. We don't want that. There's some cool stuff though, like I I doubt that will be blocked, but it's really cool. You can try making your own stuff. Like there's called p5.js. You can code your own games, and people have done that. See? Press space, use arrow key, boom. That's crazy, right? And they wrote this in just 100 lines. That's crazy. They wrote this in 100 lines. That is actually insane. They wrote this in 100 lines. But maybe you can make your own. Probably not that hard. You don't know how to code? I mean, the easiest way is to use ChatGPT, right? You can look up how to code. You can follow tutorials on YouTube, and if you get stuck, you go on ChatGPT, right? Nothing too hard about that. If you don't know how to code, the best way to learn is just start, you know? Honestly, that's how everyone does it. No one knows how to code in the beginning, so you just look it up. Yeah. But honestly, let me show you. When it gets to this point, this is a lot of stuff, right? It looks really overwhelming. There's so many files, there's so many like, for my project there's so many forms of data, components, pages. It looks really overwhelming. And this is a month of work. For what? For like a simple calculator. But you don't have to make things that complicated. You just look up something easy. Start easy. Proxies are actually pretty interesting. They're not exactly hard, I don't think. But yeah, you definitely have to take some time to learn. Everyone starts with like a small file like this, and then it gradually becomes more and more until you build your own project. Personally, I've never made a proxy. I've made like a VPN endpoint, like a, you know what a VPN is. This video is sponsored by NordVPN, that type of shit. I'm sorry. Even if you came back with one, I'm not clicking on that. I am not clicking on that, brother. Where was I? Honestly. Yeah. So my project really just starts at this page. This is the page for Builder. It's where you get to after you click on a character, and from there we just go to Character Builder, and this does everything. It fetches all the data. These are the properties. These are the props. It initializes the skills. It memoizes. I was having some issues where it was mass re-rendering. Apparently you're supposed to use memos or to prevent re-rendering of states that aren't changing. I wasn't really sure what was causing the re-renders, because I don't know, whatever was changing. These are all initialization stuff, just really basic. Level calculations. Yeah, this sends all these attributes. This use effect sends all these attributes to a character stat calculation that I have set up. This originally was on the server side. This was a fetch command instead of a use effect before, and it would fetch from the server after giving all this information to the server. Originally, I wanted to save on bandwidth, so I think I was trying to send as little as possible back and forth from the server. But what ended up happening was whenever someone decided to touch the slider, or whenever someone equipped, unequipped, and people were doing this really often, so the server was getting absolutely decimated by the load. Too much for it to handle, honestly. So, and since I was paying for the servers, I moved it to you guys' computer. So no, your Ryzen 5600X 6-core thingamajig is toast. It's goners. But you're doing your own calculations. Also, I had an issue before using memo or rapid re-renders would destroy your computer. I was wondering why my laptop's fan was going, you know, just absolutely going crazy. Yeah, this is really boring front-end code. I think the core, well, I think I can say that a lot. A lot of this can be considered core. This is the main UI, the main basis for which I build everything out. And then we have stat sidebar, the old item tooltip, item sidebar. Item tooltip is its own file. Calculations, this txt defines how every single stat is calculated, every single one, and it's a lot of work. I could not have done this myself. My friends really did help a lot here. One of the backbone of everything is this data utils file. You might notice it's one of the longer files. It's because it handles everything from getting item modifiers, getting the image paths, reading JSON files, getting caching the characters so they're not constantly reading from doing IO. Super important file, and there's 2 versions because one is loaded on this server, one's loaded on the client. Kind of redundant, really does need to be shrunk down, but cannot be bothered. Oh, this is interesting. Since I decided to use TypeScript and not JavaScript, we had to define interfaces, right? And I'm sure there's better ways. Since we were working with JSON files with unknown formats, I just used a extension called JSON to TS or something. Yeah, it just created a TypeScript interface automatically, and trust me, that was bad. We don't need to worry about that though. These files are huge. That's the icon for the site. Was a pain to get it this high quality. think maybe the last thing I want to talk about is what the site looked like in its iterations. So I feel like I said a lot but didn't really say anything. Said a lot without saying anything. Oh well. I'll stop the server and then I will move across branches. npm run dev, and now we will see what this looked like from the beginning to the end. This was the first iteration. We had this permanent sidebar. Honestly, it doesn't look half bad. And as you see, all these heroes' names are just numbers. This is what it looked like. We only had 3 items, and the grids were definitely not. Well, you see what this is. And these numbers, completely fake. I think, probably. That was version 1. So then we go to version 2. Wow, we have names. And whatever the hell is going on over here. Oh, there we go. We have names. Slightly different, still all wrong. Through these versions, we had to rewrite a lot of things in the back end. The data util at this point was only 67 lines long. If you remember what it was before, it was over 400. This project was really started small. So next we go to version 3. And now version 3, we accidentally load in all the non-playable characters like Calico. But we also started having this sidebar aesthetic to it. I originally got all these assets from the Deadlock wiki, so if these look familiar, that's why. See? Oh, one thing you might notice is we don't really use these X's anymore. And there's a utility, right? Some of these items are classified as utility items in the code, which obviously doesn't exist in the game. But nevertheless, since this was processed automatically, this is something I had to like make conditionals for. Obviously, look at these stats; they don't mean anything. But this was a work in progress at around like 4 days in, maybe. Just getting to this point was a lot of work, to be honest. I think around checkpoint 4, as you notice, the names reverted themselves because we started rewriting heavily. My friends started helping me, and we started getting the right icons. I think utilities there are no longer utility items. That's one of the things my friends helped me did. We filtered out the non-in-game items and got them to the right categories. So that means we broke a lot of things. We also filtered out all the non-in-game characters, and the reason why all these characters' names reverted was because we completely replaced the data set we were using. Before, we used this cleaned well, I don't have the link to it. We used this semi cleaned up data that someone on GitHub had, but it was incomplete and obviously out of date. So we started using the vdata files from the source, from the game source. So at about a week in version 4, we started using the source. Version 5. I wonder. I don't think it's very different. Oh, haha. Got rid of the sidebar. And this is where it starts to resemble the current version. This is more refined. Some of the stats are questionable. I don't think they worked. But I added in like a builder. As you can see, this really is not any different from the current builder page. But I added this drag and drop to builder. I don't know where the animations went. This version has animations that the previous version didn't have, which is unfortunate. Maybe we'll re-implement that. The stats for the heroes are mostly defined, but as you see, there's no skills implemented at all. And I think I don't remember if at this point the stats were accurate. It certainly isn't usable because there isn't leveling implemented. So yeah, this is a point in the project where I felt like we were really starting to get there. That's the version 5. 6 we started, let's see, from 6 we had skills. This is what it looked like. Obviously the grid's a little broken, but here we started to have a little bit of a conflict when we split off into branches and different people work on it. We have a different vision on what certain things should look like, and this save and find build kind of got tossed out, honestly. Minor changes. Obviously the skills are there now. I don't know if it's as pretty as the current version is, but it definitely has the same feel to it. Maybe a little scuffed. This is checkpoint 7. This is where we have this, as you see, before it was level 33. This is on the old file. And this is, I believe, my friend did the UI for this portion, so that's why it's a lot more pretty now. I redid the stats bar. It all seems like very minor changes, but even things such as this search bar took time to do. And also making sure that the site looked proper even at half width was important, because honestly most people discovered the site through their phones. So if it looks scuffed on your phone, why would you use it on your computer? Version 8. This is my shilling, give me money type shit. The names are right now. Some changes, not a lot. There's a little bit of bugginess introduced, which is inevitable. I believe at some point it's less about the front end changes. A lot of it was changes and rewrites in the back end, trying to optimize how the workload on our server. And I think in this version we had to really revise our back-end processing and making sure making sure it's not such a mess that we continue to build, because after a while the project is just piles up. You can think of it as like a pile of leaves. When you toss things on the pile, eventually it starts kind of spreading out. You can't just keep piling on the same spot, and it gets really messy. And then whenever we try to introduce new things, as you see this tooltip, it's a little buggy. And in fact, I think this is one of the versions where infinite, this version was bugged. Infinite processes happening, infinite re-renders. So this was not one of the best versions, so let's get off that. That was version 8, and we'll load the final version. Oh shit, interesting. I don't remember this one. Well, I definitely don't remember this one. I think, we wanted to implement a better navigation system, but frankly, this was not it. We should go to the current version, which is this. I revamped the main page a little, made it a little bit more glass feeling, and revamped the stats to look more like the other bar. I guess the only thing left is to make this look better, and then the aesthetic will be complete. Obviously, there's a ton of unfinished features, really a lot of work to do, but right now, after working on this project for so long, I think I'm ready to just kind of let it go and let people, contribute it as an open source. And maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get worse. Honestly, the main thing I'm afraid of is people just taking the work and running away with it, claiming it as their own. But whatever. If I want to make it open source, I think that's just one of the facts. People can take it and modify it for the better or worse. So this is the current version, and I will upload only the current version because some of these mistakes, they're a little bit much, and I want to keep them to myself. Just as a history. It'll help me remember how this project started and how it got to this place. And I will clone this repository, the final version of it, into a new repository that will be publicly available. So, public. Here's my GitHub desktop. This is the current everything. All that's left is for me to, I guess, check everything over and it'll be public. So I will go over to my GitHub repo. And I will make it public. It's public. Ta-da! So it's out there. Find it. Bye bye.